The councillors who have voted in favor of are 13. Councillors who have voted against are 2, and 2 councillors are in abstention.
By a majority of 13 votes, the bylaws have been approved.
Prior to the vote, councillors were afforded the opportunity to debate the proposed amendments to the bylaws. However, Mayor Patricia Chase-Green restricted the councillors from discussing, among other things, the contract and concessionaire. This did not go down too well with Councillor Bishram Kupen, who argued that the bylaws are linked to the contract with Smart City Solutions. He noted that council is attempting to move forward with a contract whose legality is still in question and advised that it should not be proceeded with.
This contract is for 40 years, a contract that did not come about in the approved manner. There were no public consultations, they were doing that after the fact. It was not publicly tendered as required by law. The procurement law says that it has to be tendered, and that was not done. And they're going about in many different ways to validate this contract, which in my mind is illegal and should not be allowed to go on. This contract, even though they amended, they're saying 20 years, is really for 40 years because the contractor has the right of renewal for an additional 20. So each one of you will be on record as putting this, foisting this in the necks of the people of Georgetown for 40 years. This contract is not a fair contract.
Additionally, Councillor Kame Sharma applauded the fee reduction for parking in the city, but noted that he cannot support the project because there are still a lot of unanswered questions. Meanwhile, Councillor Malcolm Ferreira called for the decision to be put on hold until all court issues regarding the controversial project is addressed.
If we truly care about this city and the citizens, we should not rush into rubber stamping any new bylaws without giving thought to all possible outcomes. You know, some may say, and I'm ending now, Your Worship, some may say that it's a foregone conclusion that some people will oppose this whole metered parking regardless. And that may be true. However, as elected councillors, we must not forego our responsibilities and duties in haste to arrive at a conclusion.
Expressing his unwavering support for the project was Councillor Heston Bostwick, who called for its speedy implementation. Now that the amended bylaws are approved, the administration will have to display them for a minimum of 14 days in public spaces, and during that time persons could write to City Hall expressing their concerns. Following the 14 days public display, the adopted bylaws will be forwarded to the Communities Minister Ronald Bulkan for his approval and, if given, will then be gazetted. Under the new agreement, persons will be paying $150 per hour and $800 for 8 hours of parking in the city. Meanwhile, residents of the city would be issued with a restricted residential pass for free parking from 1700 to 1900 hours Monday to Friday, while parking will be free on Saturdays. For the evening news, Lee Graham Baguette.